right, good morning. It is another warm day out here in the desert in Arizona. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Jennifer and I live in my van. So for the last 3 years, my daughter and I have been part-time on the road, and we kept a home base in the Midwest. Last year, I got rid of my home base and moved across to New Mexico into a community or eco-village. And in December, it abruptly ended, and I had very little time to figure out what to do, and we didn't have our home base anymore, so we had to go back on the road, and we are full-time. Why it is so different is there was many things that we could not get rid of, so I have extra stuff, and it is like a homestead. We have the van, and now we have a tent, and I do a shower tent for our bathing and our toilet, but we also have many pets with us. We got rid of some before we left, but we could not get rid of everything, and we don't get rid of cats and dogs or animals that we've had for years and years. I also brought many house plants because some of them are 20 plus years old. I sell at the farmer's market. I have for 10 years. I propagate my plants, and those plants have made hundreds of other plants for people to enjoy. I hope I can get back into that soon in the future, but I never know. So that's just a little bit of an update. If you don't really know my history, that is what is going on. And today I'm going to just go through my dilemma a little bit more, and what I should do and my choices and things that I'm trying to come up with to kind of better our situation right now. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Another day like summer out here. It's the beginning of February and it is 82 degrees. We are not used to this. Usually I kind of move to higher elevation when it's this warm, but we're going to keep staying here because it's nice. I mean, it's not too bad weather at night. It's great. We're sleeping with windows open and stuff. But there's been this flow of warm air coming up from the ocean. I was going to say the Gulf. It's not the Gulf. From the ocean in Mexico and stuff. So it's actually been humid and hot and a little bit cloudy. Had some rain and stuff. But yeah, like 50s at night, and the weather only says 70s, but it's actually getting in low 80s. So kind of crazy. Taking a shower just to cool off for the day is a little bit different than, my winter coat that I had not that long ago. Yeah, it's been really warm at night. Haven't had to use any heat or anything like that. But having a few issues with some of my systems. There's flies in here now. I think my solar batteries are on the end. They don't seem to be holding a charge. So I'm having a little bit of troubles with powering stuff and charging up laptops and keeping stuff like that going. I don't really have a whole lot of tools with me. I don't even have a battery tester. I could go buy that stuff. So I'm still just trying to think of what I should do with that. If I should take it somewhere, if I should mess with it myself, disconnect the batteries and use the solar panels a different way. I'm not really sure yet. And then I have one more thing. My water pump, I think, burnt up. It does not come on anymore, so I'm going to have to order a new water pump that is for my water in my kitchen. And so I haven't been able to put water in my 16-gallon water holding tank because the pump hasn't worked to get it on. So I got to do that, order some stuff, and we are outside of Phoenix, and we decided not to go all the way to Quartzsite because I need to do a lot more things in a bigger city, and use the UPS store and get mail and work on taxes and things like that. And it's better just to be by Phoenix now, so we can get some things done. So yeah, I'll have to order a new pump and find a place to get it delivered. And let's see what else. So yeah, the solar issue, the water pump, those are kind of big things. We don't really have like running water now. I mean, we barely had running water before, but so yeah, I need to get that fixed, and then we can use our water tank again too. Let's see, what else do I need to work on? Well, we've done quite a bit of cleaning and organizing. It's not quite as crowded. We got rid of some extra things. When we first moved out, we just kind of like threw stuff in there, and I had extra of everything. I didn't need giant packs of toilet paper. I didn't need 6 bath towels, and I had too many of some things, and too many pairs of sheets and stuff like that. So we're starting to get it more organized, got rid of a few more things, and so it's not quite as cramped. So a little bit about like the animals and stuff. When they were at the eco village, the little quail didn't really see sunlight much. They were in a little barn room, and they didn't get to see any sunlight. There was a lot more of them, and I got rid of quite a few, and I only brought just a couple. And they're actually in the sun when they want to be. You know, I can put them in the shade if it's going to be too warm, but I feel like animals need sunlight. They need to be able to see sunlight. So they are actually doing better, in a better condition than what they were before. The rabbits are in almost the same kind of condition, but they were in a barn that they didn't see sunlight, and I really didn't like that. And now they get sunlight in the morning, and I can take their shade thing off, and they can get sun other times, you know, if it's cold out or whatever. But they actually have a little bit larger cages. They come out, we play with them. They're right by our door, so they get more attention. They're getting more vegetable scraps and stuff like that. And their condition is actually better than what it was before. The chickens, they didn't see much sunlight either. It was just a very short time, and they weren't laying any eggs. And as soon as we got out here, they started laying eggs. So that always gives you an indication of chickens are happy. You can hear their sounds, and they are laying in the dust and dusting all day, and laying in the sun too. So their conditions kind of improved too. At the other location, the chickens were actually with 10 other chickens. I had tons of predators to deal with, and I was constantly trapping live animals. There was skunks, there was raccoons, there was cougars, there was bears, and I actually lost one of my chickens to a raccoon, and a second one got all the feathers ripped out of its back. Also, I've kept chickens and rabbits for almost 25 years. And if you've ever homesteaded, you know how difficult it is to keep things from eating your livestock. Now, the chickens and rabbits, the animals, they don't know if we have a house or not. Their conditions are pretty much the same. When we move, which is only every 2 weeks, I go less than an hour. So they are barely even in a smaller thing for a short time, and they don't even seem to notice. The chickens still lay eggs that day. It doesn't even faze them. But they don't know if I have a house or not. Their stuff is still the same. They're getting more attention. They're getting little scraps and treats and stuff like that, grasses to hide in, and it's warm. They were in a cold barn, and it is obviously 80 degrees, a little bit too warm, but they're warm and more sunlight. It's not that cloudy. It's sunny all the time. So, you know, it doesn't really faze the animals that much. And like I said, I'm only going a very short distance each time. I traveled like 30 minutes the one move, and this one I did go an hour and a half, but I do it really early in the morning. They're back out in their cages within a few hours, and they don't even really notice. Of course, none of it is always ideal. Last minute thrown together situation. I'm working on rectifying it. I'm getting stuff less that we have with us, getting it more organized and situated. And like I said, as far as the animals and pets, they don't care if I'm in the van or if I'm in a house. Their situation has improved. They're seeing sunlight and in warm weather, getting treats and attention, and looked after, 6 times a day. We're looking at them. And Sheba loves them. She lays by I see the rabbit and her touching noses and her wagging her tail. But we can only do what we can do, and this is the best for right now. Gonna have to make some improvements on the van. I've been trying to figure out how to increase our living space and our comfort. I've thought about getting a travel trailer. I've thought about getting rid of the van and getting a big motorhome. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I hate to get rid of the van. It's running so good. I just have a few, build issues, or, the solar batteries and my faucet to fix. Other than that, it's running great. I hate to get rid of it. And it is like my only good car. I have to drive it. If I get a job, I have to drive it. If I sell at the farmer's market, that's what I drive. Up in Rue d'Osso, where we were before, I drove my little Volkswagen, but that's because it was only a few miles. I wouldn't drive that in the city or very far, and it didn't have air conditioning. So I'm still just trying to figure out what to do to increase our space and our conveniences, our modern conveniences, maybe a shower or whatever. It's not really that big of a deal right now. It's warm enough that we just shower outside in our shower tent, and it's not that big of a deal. It costs me $1 to do that, the water. But it's more of an issue when it's cold or windy and I can't put up the shower tent, or rainy or something like that. When I made this decision to move out here, it was the best thing I could come up with. I couldn't rent a place. I couldn't buy another place. I just didn't have any other choice. Had limited time to figure it out. And when I asked Adele what was important to her, it was, of course, bringing the animals. She's a big animal lover, so am I, but she's the one that wants to be a veterinarian when she grows up. And I just couldn't break her heart of, getting rid of any more animals. Some of these chickens we've had for 7 years, and, they're just 5 of them. That's not that big of a deal. And like I said, it's not going to be forever. All of a sudden something could come up, and next month this all could be different. So you can't always think of it as you're stuck in this situation forever. You gotta always think positive and not say you can't. That's one thing that I constantly try to make sure that I don't say is, well, I can't do that because of, that will like jinx you and you won't be able to do that, whatever it is. So you have to think in your mind, I can do whatever I want. I just have to figure out how to do it. And that's what I mean, those guideposts for me to follow to figure out what I should be doing in this situation. Should I sell the van? Should I buy a piece of property and try to build some, camp on that, build something? I have no clue right now. I'm just waiting for those signs to show up to give me an idea of what I should do. Right now we're just doing our thing, having fun, relaxing, keeping cool. And Adele enjoys seeing her animals and feeding them every single day. She said she didn't mind having to move back into the van at all. When she gets in the van, she thinks of fun, so it's not a big deal for her. I just would like to increase our space and our modern conveniences. I thought about buying a travel trailer, but I'm worried that if, one, I have to get a loan, and then that loan is on my credit and will mess me up for buying a house in the future. Because I need to be in a house by fall or something for her to go to high school. I don't think an RV park is going to accept me with my chickens and outdoor structures in a big tent. So in a few weeks, when it warms up a little bit more in the Las Cruces area, we're going to be heading back into that area, and I'll be looking for a job. I'll be looking for a job and a place to park that I feel, safe to leave my camp during the day. And I don't think it's going to be an RV park. So should I buy a travel trailer on my credit? I'd be eliminating the shower tent and the big tent, but I wouldn't be eliminating my outdoor cages or Shiba. The majority of my plants would fit in the van and travel trailer, and then soon it's going to be warm enough everywhere that they can be outside and stuff like that. And The travel trailer would make it where I eliminate a couple structures and a lot of moving of plants. The animal thing still remains the same. Not too many places want chickens. Do I keep boondocking and feel safe leaving my camp for a whole day to go to work somewhere? I don't know. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Or do I, get rid of the van and buy a motorhome, a big RV? Then I can't pull the van behind it. It's too big. And then I don't have a car to drive to work. I can't drive the van in an RV. Yeah, we're still thinking. I'm still thinking, trying to figure it out. And just keep enjoying the weather and keeping my feelers out and looking at ads and looking at jobs and just figure out what's going to be the best. But right now we're just hanging out here in Arizona where it's 80 degrees. Alright, so that is what is going on out here. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're just hanging out here in the desert, keeping cool and enjoying summer-like weather.